Welcome. Learn about Nirbhaya Act Criminal Law Amendment Act, 2013. The Nirbhaya Act. The Criminal Law Act, or Nirbhaya Act, 2013, is an Indian legislation passed by the Lok Sabha on March 19, 2013, and by the Rajya Sabha on March 21, 2013, which provides for amendment of Indian Penal Code, Indian Evidence Act, and Code of Criminal Procedure, 1973 on laws related to sexual offences. The bill received presidential assent on April 2, 2013, and came into force from April 3, 2013. It was originally an ordinance promulgated by the President of India, Pranab Mukherjee, on April 3, 2013, in light of the protests in the 2012 Delhi gang rape case. Background. On December 16, 2012, a female physiotherapy intern was beaten and gang-raped in Delhi. She died from her injuries 13 days later, despite receiving treatment in India and Singapore. The incident generated international coverage and was condemned by the United Nations Entity for Gender Equality and the Empowerment of Women, who called on the Government of India and the Government of Delhi to do everything in their power to take up radical reforms, ensure justice, and reach out with robust public services to make women's lives more safe and secure. Public protests took place in Delhi, where thousands of protesters clashed with security forces. Similar protests took place in major cities throughout the country. 6 days after the incident, on December 22, 2012, the central government appointed a judicial committee headed by J.S. Verma, a former judge of Supreme Court, to suggest amendments to criminal law to sternly deal with sexual assault cases. The committee, which also included retired Judge Laila Seth and leading advocate Gopal Subramaniam, was given a month to submit its report. The committee submitted its report within 29 days, on January 23, 2013, supposedly after considering the 80,000 suggestions and petitions received by them during that same period from the public in general and particularly from jurists, lawyers, NGOs, and women's groups. The report indicated that failures on the part of the government and police were the root cause behind crimes against women. Major suggestions of the report included the need to review AFSPA in conflict areas, maximum punishment for rape as life imprisonment and not death penalty, clear ambiguity over control of Delhi police, etc. The cabinet ministers on February 1, 2013 approved for bringing an ordinance for giving effect to the changes in laws suggested by the Verma Committee report. According to former Minister of Law and Justice, Ashwani Kumar, 90% of the suggestions given by the Verma Committee report have been incorporated into the ordinance. The ordinance was subsequently replaced by a bill with numerous changes, which was passed by the Lok Sabha on March 19, 2013. The Criminal Law Ordinance. New offences. This new act has expressly recognized certain acts as offences which were dealt under related laws. These new offences like acid attack, sexual harassment, voyeurism, stalking have been incorporated into the Indian Penal Code. Changes in law. Section 370 of Indian Penal Code has been substituted with new sections 370 and 370A, which deals with trafficking of person for exploitation. If a person recruits, transports, harbors, transfers, or receives a person by using threats or force or coercion or abduction or fraud or deception or by abuse of power or inducement for exploitation, including prostitution, slavery, forced organ removal, etc., will be punished with imprisonment ranging from at least 7 years to imprisonment for the remainder of that person's natural life, depending on the number or category of persons trafficked. Employment of a trafficked person will attract penal provision as well. The most important change that has been made is the change in definition of rape under IPC although the ordinance sought to change the word rape to sexual assault. In the Act, the word rape has been retained in Section 375 and was extended to include acts in addition to vaginal penetration. The definition is broadly worded with acts like penetration of penis into the vagina, urethra, anus, or mouth, or any object or any part of body to any extent. Into the vagina, urethra, or anus of another woman, or making another person do so, to apply mouth or touching private parts constitutes the offense of sexual assault. The section has also clarified that penetration means penetration to any extent, and lack of physical resistance is immaterial for constituting an offense. Except in certain aggravated situations, the punishment will be imprisonment not less than 7 years, but which may extend to imprisonment for life, and shall also be liable to fine. In aggravated situations, punishment will be rigorous imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 10 years, but which may extend to imprisonment for life, and shall also be liable to fine. A new section, 376A, has been added, which states that if a person committing the offense of sexual assault inflicts an injury which causes the death of the person or causes the person to be in a persistent vegetative state, shall be punished with rigorous imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 20 years, but which may extend to imprisonment for life, which shall mean the remainder of that person's natural life, or with death. In case of gang rape, persons involved regardless of their gender shall be punished with rigorous imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 20 years, but which may extend to life, and shall pay compensation to the victim which shall be reasonable to meet the medical expenses and rehabilitation of the victim. The age of consent in India has been increased to 18 years, which means any sexual activity irrespective of presence of consent with a woman below the age of 18 will constitute statutory rape. Certain changes has been introduced in the CRPC and Evidence Act, like the process of recording the statement of the victim has been made more victim-friendly and easy, but the two critical changes are: 1. The character of the victim is now rendered totally irrelevant, and 2. There is now a presumption of no consent in a case where sexual intercourse is proved and the victim states in the court that she did not consent. Learn about Nirbhaya Act, Criminal Law Amendment Act, 2013. Thank you for watching this video. Goodbye.